Please join me in an attitude of prayer as I share this blessing written by John O'Donohue, entitled For Light. Light cannot see inside things. That is what the dark is for. Minding the interior, nurturing the draw of growth through places where death, in its own way, turns into light. In the glare of neon times, let our eyes not be worn by surfaces that shine, with hunger made attractive. That our thoughts may be true light, finding their way into words, which have the weight of shadows to hold the layers of truth. That we may never place our trust in minds claimed by empty light, where one-sided certainties are driven by false desires. When we look into the heart, may our eyes have the kindness and the reverence of candlelight. That the searching of our minds be equal to the oblique. Crevices and corners where the mystery continues to dwell, glimmering in fugitive light. When we are confided inside the dark house of suffering, that moonlight might find a window. When we become false and lost, that the severe noonlight would cast our shadow clear. When we love, that the dawn light would lighten our feet upon waters. As we grow old, that twilight would illuminate treasure in the fields of memory. And when we come to search for God, let us be first robed in night and put on the mind of morning, to feel the rush of light spread slowly inside in the color and stillness of a found world. Amen. Please be seated.
Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. President Frombgen and family, members of the Board of Trustees, esteemed faculty, distinguished delegates, honored guests, all who join us here today. It's my joy and privilege to welcome you to this inauguration of, I can hardly say this, Dr. Elizabeth Frombgen, Dr. Liz, as president of Southwestern College. Today is a historic occasion. This is the 20th time in our college's 138th year history to formally celebrate the installation of a new president. We are honored to have with us today representatives from previous administrations, including Southwestern's 16th president, Bishop Bruce Blake, and the college's 17th president, the Reverend Dr. Carl Martin. As presidents, both advanced the mission of Southwestern College, serving our college well. We are grateful for their presence and support. Please join me in appreciation of their vision and leadership. Gentlemen, please stand to be recognized. The people of Southwestern are what make this place great. It's the relationships built here that define this college. It's now my pleasure to invite forward representatives of various constituencies of the college to offer messages of entrustment. Those coming forward will be Bishop David Wilson, representing the United Methodist Church, Student Foundation President Carly Redding for the students, who you've already seen, Kaydee Riggs-Johnson of the class of 2011 for the alumni, Susan Andrews for the community, Lonnie Boyd, class of 1992 for the staff, and Dr. Cheryl Rude for the faculty. Immediately following these messages of entrustment, special remarks will be offered by the first president that Dr. Frombgen worked under at Hastings College, Dr. Phil Dudley. Phil also happens to be a graduate of Southwestern College. And by Dr. Susan Traverso, who Dr. Frombgen worked with at Teal College immediately before coming to Southwestern. To begin the entrustments, Bishop David Wilson will come forward.
Thank you, President Frombgen. On behalf of United Methodists of the Great Plains Annual Conference, I offer a heartfelt welcome to you as President of Southwestern College. For almost 140 years, this amazing school tucked away here in Winfield, Kansas, has prepared students for abundant life after graduation. As one of the 4 institutions of higher education learning throughout the Great Plains Conference, or boundaries of Kansas and Nebraska, directly connected to the United Methodist Church, Southwestern College has been a hub for helping the church fulfill its mission of making disciples for Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. We cannot achieve such a Christ-worthy goal all at once, but we can by reaching one person at a time and one heart. From the atmosphere that permeates this peaceful campus to the worship outreach provided by faculty and students over the years, to the many pastors who heard their call to ministry here, some while climbing those steep 77 steps to Christie Hall, which I climbed today, Southwestern College has been doing its part to reach one person at a time so that those persons can go and transform their communities. Proverbs 1, verses 4 to 6 provides a glimpse into God's vision of wisdom. The Message, paraphrased by Eugene Peterson, puts it this way while explaining the purpose behind wisdom and understanding and how they together are a manual for living. Hear these words: to teach the inexperienced the ropes, to give our young people a grasp on reality. There is something here also for seasoned men and women. Still a thing or two for the experienced to learn. Fresh wisdom to probe and penetrate the rhyme and reasons of wise men and women. So, President Liz, into your care, we entrust the leadership of students at Southwestern College. I and many other United Methodists will continue to be praying for you. Verse 7 continues with an important piece of advice, and it says, start with God. May God bless you as you heed that advice to start with God and serve in this important role. Amen.
President Liz. We, the students of Southwestern College, entrust to you to stay connected with us, to be honest and open with us, and to advocate for us. We've been paying attention. We notice that you show up for our games, our performances, our traditions, and our celebrations. We entrust that you will continue to stay connected with our campus, that you will continue to be present. Whether it's throwing your rock in the mound, cheering loudly at a volleyball game, or joining us for lunch in the caf. You have also made a great effort to make sure that students have been informed and that our voices have been heard and respected this year. We entrust that you will continue to hear our voices and seek our input. Keep your office open and keep students informed about what's going on at our college, and invite our feedback and participation, and continue to create space for us to grow as leaders on campus. Finally, we entrust that you remember who you are and who you represent. You're a builder. We entrust that you will offer your unwavering leadership, hope, and care to our campus community, and that you will always do what's best for us and our college.
President Frombgen. On behalf of the alumni of Southwestern, the message of entrustment is simple: love our college. For alumni and students, this campus represents a safe haven. It is our home on the hill. The formative relationships and memories made in spaces dotted all across this campus are sacred to us. In partnership with you, we as alumni have an obligation to do what we're able as ambassadors and supporters to protect and to advance our college. From wherever we now reside, we share in the challenges and accomplishments experienced here on this campus. Southwestern College is part of our identity. The treasured and admittedly slightly strange traditions of Southwestern College have shaped our being. We believe in the power of the jinx, and we are in that mound. Our hands have thrown those rocks, our feet have climbed those 77 steps, our minds and perspectives have grown with the help of an excellent faculty through the years. Our hearts are in this place. So President Frombgen, fight for this college. Invest in this college. Be proud of this college. Be bold for this college. But most importantly, love this college. And at every chance you get, remind us, the alumni of Southwestern College, to do the same.
About a year ago, when the college was preparing to select its 20th president, I had the privilege of attending the dinners with each of the final candidates the night before they took their first tour of the college. One of the first parts of that dinner was us asking each of the candidates, what questions do you have about our college? And what I remember most about President Frombgen's answer was she said simply, oh, well, I'll have plenty of time to find out more about the college tomorrow. Tonight, I want to learn about the community I may be part of. That said so much to me. And so on this very important day of inauguration, I'm honored to represent our community as we commit to you and trust President Liz the following. Number one, we entrust the powerful relationship that exists and has always existed between Southwestern College and the city of Winfield. That strong bond goes back to the beginning when the city valiantly fought to have Southwestern College built here. They raised a huge sum of money and offered up vast acreage in order to beat out the competition, which they did. The founding fathers and mothers knew that the vitality and cultural lifestyle that a fine arts college would bring to this area, and for our community, Southwestern College will forever be the shining beacon on the hill that lifted Winfield to new significance and cultural prosperity. When Christie burned to the ground, living rooms and dining rooms became classrooms because we saw the importance of making sure that all our students could complete their education while it was being restored. And the community was instrumental in that restoration. This historical relationship between the college and the city is a very important heritage we continue to build on today. And as our tomorrow becomes more bold and dynamic, we want to continue to partner in support of our college. The community wants to be included. We want to contribute and participate in making manifest our shared future together. Number two, we entrust in you the traditions that make our college unique. When I first moved here, I was absolutely surprised at what a personality Southwestern College has. Some of that distinctiveness comes from the hearts of its students and the deep connection that resides between the faculty and staff. But much of the uniqueness was built around the traditions. I learned about mound builders and how they are so much more than a college mascot. Being a mound builder is a way of living a life of contribution. Attending my first mound builder ceremony, I realized how important it was I was participating in a very meaningful part of a Southwestern student's college experience. There are always lots of students and faculty at the ceremonies, but there are also people from the community attending that as well. I would love to believe it's because of the ritual there, but I really do believe it's because we want to see whether the football team can once again get that giant boulder onto the top of the mound. And of course, we have the Jinx. It's part of, it can be seen in that beautiful memorial window at the field house, the floor of the basketball court, the inlaid wood floor on the basketball court. And now we have the Jinx in center field of the new turf in the football stadium. There are 77 steps which lead to 4 pillars, Alvin the Alligator, the campus players, caricatures as you head down to Helen Graham Theater, the monument rocks that depict all of the limestone of the area, the Avenue of Flags, which really reminds us of the international presence over the years. And of course, you don't have to go very far but to a musical concert, graduation or baccalaureate, to hear Beautiful Savior as all of the alums raise their voices. And last, we entrust in you the very foundation on which Winfield was built, a belief in the power of learning and education and an absolute dedication to creativity and culture. As this city nears its 150th birthday, we celebrate its roots, the intentional creation of a town inspired by learning and arts. Ever since I've lived here, I've heard about mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, great-great-grandmothers who all attended this college at a time when women were hardly seen at institutions of higher education. There were first-generation grads and whole families that have graduated from this college, and the alumni love to talk about the breadth of their educational experience and the teachers and mentors who have inspired them to go on and make a great difference in our world, putting the builder spirit into practice. This past year has been very hard. We have had to face the financial realities at the college, and we've also had to face our fear of what would be lost and what might be lost. This is where that strong relationship between the community and the college is so important that we once again turn to support each other. Our fine arts may change somewhat and may even look a little different as we work in partnership moving forward. But I know that you and the community are committed to let the music sing, as our a cappella choir so beautifully said and reminded us last week. There will be choirs and a pep band and maybe soon a marching band. The orchestra will continue as the community steps to the forefront to oversee our symphony as it plays at Richardson Hall. The Winfield Arts and Humanities is looking to partner with the college to provide avenues for students' artistic expression. Performing arts will again take the stage of Richardson and the Little Theater as one of our own amazing alumni steps into the role of director. We can all be reassured that the fine arts are not over for Winfield or Southwestern College. They are not even starting over, but are continuing to build on a remarkable past. So this city of music, the home of horse feathers and applesauce, and the remarkable print artists like Arthur Covey have left a legacy of art and culture that will continue to live on. As we entrust you with these things, we also pledge our hearts and hands. We pledge to you, President Liz, Doug, Diamond, and Susie. You knew I'd get the dogs in there, didn't you? Yeah. That our community will always strive to make this a place you're proud to call home. We will embrace the builder spirit and work together because it is our hope and our belief that our beautiful light on the hill will continue to shine brighter than ever.
President Frombgen, the staff of Southwestern College entrusts you to lead our college forward with care, to work alongside us with trust and a commitment to openness. We entrust you to seek creative ways to add meaning and opportunity to our work on campus, to know when to encourage rest and when to celebrate accomplishments. Model for us what it means to be student-centered through your care and presence. Invite our input and feedback, build systems that innately grow our leadership capacity. Help us work with confidence and purpose, remembering always the importance and value of our work and service to Southwestern College.
Ready for one more thing on your shoulders? Take it on. Okay, here you go. Okay, President Frombgen, we, the faculty of Southwestern College, we entrust to your care a culture where honesty is respected. We trust that you will tell us the truth and have the gracious strength to hear our truth. Continue to model for us transparency in the decisions that shape our work together. We entrust to your care a workplace where people are valued. We trust that you will help us and care for us so that we have the vitality to care for our number one priority around here, students who graduate. Help restore what has been sacrificed, reimagine work life with us, and remind us of our worth in the world. We entrust to your care a faculty that is hungry for flourishing. We trust that you will keep inviting us to the table, value our ideas, and resource growth opportunities for our intellectual development. Be bold in advocating for us. We entrust to your care a 21st century iteration of liberal arts education. We trust that you will keep demonstrating what innovation, bold, dynamic, hard work, doing it together, and shamelessly asking for help. We trust that you're going to demonstrate to us what that looks like, to the end that our students have the opportunity to exercise discipline of scientific thought, explore the diversity of humanity, cultivate the ability to hold another's perspective in consideration, strengthen their ethical capacity, and deepen their appreciation of beauty. So, because I'm last, I'm going to say on behalf of all of us, of the stakeholders who've offered our entrustments to you to this day, we do so in an earnest desire to be ready to say yes for the next time you ask us, are you with me?
I'm honored that President Frombgen would ask me to speak at her inauguration, but President Frombgen, be careful what you wish for. Rod Stroll is here. Rod is on the Board of Trustees. He's graduated in 1966 from Southwestern. I graduated in 68. Rod's late father was the president of Southwestern College from 1954 to 1972. He is the longest-serving president in the history of Southwestern. Now get out your iPhones and everything else and mark 2041. And we'll come back for the Founders Weekend. President Frombgen will be beginning her 19th year. I will be delighted to come back and speak. On second thought, President Frombgen, I'll be 94. Maybe you better have a backup plan. So anyway, Board of Trustees. We got several boards. I just came on the board. They'll probably impeach me after my first meeting. But anyway, it's good to be on the board. And I guess the question for us is, what capacity do we serve in terms of supporting our president? And to answer that question, I'm really reminded of a Charlie Brown cartoon. Now, for all of you that are Generation Z, I apologize for you, to you, because you obviously never heard of Charlie Brown. For those of you that know nothing about baseball, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But in the first box, Charlie Brown is standing on a pitcher's mound. And he's saying to himself, it's the ninth inning. The count's 3-2. There are 2 outs. If I can get this batter out, we will win our first game ever. Second box, there's a little timeout. All of his teammates are surrounding him on the pitcher's mound. Lucy says, throw him a fastball, Charlie Brown. Throw him a fastball. Pigman said, no. Throw him a curveball. Someone at Lina says, throw him a knuckle. Throw him your knuckleball. Somebody else, no, Charlie Brown, you got to throw him the slider. The last little picture, Charlie Brown is once again alone on the mound, muttering to himself, it is amazing the number of people in this world who are willing to serve in an advisory capacity. Well, President Frombgen's the pitcher, we're the teammates, and our job is to serve in an advisory capacity, but it's got to be more than that. Now, I've got a question here. How many Southwestern College alums do we have here? Would you raise your hands? Is this question too tough? How many Southwestern? Raise your hands. Pay attention, will you? All right, well, I am too. Well, not only do we need to serve in an advisory capacity, we got to serve in a financial capacity. So, how many of you Southwestern College graduates brought your checkbooks today? Anybody out there? All right, well, directly following this inauguration, President Frombgen will be accepting checks to Southwestern College, and the memo line, put builder fund, will you? I would appreciate it. Rich Jantz, are you here? Where are you, Rich? Rich, where are you? Okay, well, Rich and I go back a long way, known him for a long time. If you haven't been back on campus, you take a tour of this place, and you got the Richard Jantz Stadium. Totally remodeled, beautiful. Brand new field turf. Rich, the biggest question of the day, do you have your checkbook? But having been re-engaged back to Southwestern and having come on the board, Rich, I deeply appreciate your very substantial financial support of this college for many, many years. And the way you engage yourself, not only that, but spending time on this campus. Rich, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. All right, I'd like to address all the faculty and the coaches. I believe that at colleges like Southwestern, it's the faculty and the coaches do the heavy lifting. I believe that administrators are regrettable necessities. When I became president of Hastings College, I made that statement and got a standing ovation from the faculty. But what I mean in that is you all think about when you were here or wherever you were as an alum, and I have attended hundreds of alumni events over the last 50 years. That's how long I've been in higher education. You ask people, what do you remember? What's your experience? And I'll tell you, most of the time, it's a faculty or coach. For me, first of all, this is where I met my spouse, Donna, and she's there, out there somewhere. But for me, it was the late Dr. Leonard Laws. He was a professor of mathematics here. He was my faculty advisor. And it was through his influence that I decided to pursue a career in higher education. I remember we were taking an upper division probability and statistics class, and there was only 10 of us because it was an upper division class. And he asked this question, and I thought to myself, I know the answer to that question. Boy, my hand shot up in the air, and it shocked President Laws. I don't think he'd ever seen my hand go up. Mr. Dudley, what's the answer? So I proudly gave the answer, this long pause, and he said, Mr. Dudley, sometimes you just need to crawl under your desk and let those thoughts pass over. Well, I'll tell you, I was under that desk a lot with that class. We're preparing for a big exam in that class, and it was on a Friday morning. I lived in Shrywise Apartments. It was Thursday night, and Dr. Laws had given us some review problems. So we're all in there, the whole class, we're all in this apartment, all studying these things. We can't figure out 3 or 4 of these questions. And we hear this whistling. I go outside, it's Dr. Laws. He's walking his dog. Dr. Laws, it's so good to see you this evening. Well, Mr. Dudley, he never called us by our first name. Mr. Dudley, how are you this evening? I said, well, Dr. Laws, several of the students in here in your class were in here. We're trying to figure out these problems. Boy, we're stuck on a few of them. Would you like for me to help you? There he was, that magnificent teacher, sitting down at the dining room table with all of his students peering over his shoulder as he went through every one of those examples. He spent an hour and a half with us. That's heavy lifting. That has always remained with me. Now, in addition to that, I had a coach that was a great coach here, and that was Bud Elliott. He was a very successful coach, and I was proud of the fact that I actually played, in spite of my efforts. I was below average football player, but I was on that 1967 undefeated football team. And again, it's heavy lifting. Well, I'm going to tell you something. President Frombgen has done more than her fair share of heavy lifting. I first met her. I met President Frombgen in 2001, my second year as president of Hastings College. We hired her. She was an assistant professor of political science. She was promoted to full professor. She chaired the department. She also served as president of our faculty senate. We always do student evaluations of our teachers, of our faculty. Her evaluations were off the charts. She is a gifted teacher. On a parenthetical note, her spouse, Dr. Doug Kinnear, was a professor in economics at, and I like to say Doug and I have something in common. We both have PhDs in what Thomas Carlyle referred to as the dismal science, which is economics. But Dr. Kinnear was a professor of economics. He also had very high student evaluations. I think it's so romantic that both of them met at Hastings College and fell in love. Well, as I said, she has done her share of heavy lifting. Now, we corrupted her, and she moved to the dark side. In 2012, she became an associate vice president for academic affairs at Hastings College. She remained in that capacity to 2017 when she moved to Teal. President Frombgen is wickedly smart. She is wickedly smart. However, unlike some college presidents, she doesn't suffer from narcissism. She's not going to die in her own arms, in other words. But she is very, very smart. She has a wonderful sense of humor, and she can laugh at herself, which are two nice qualities to have when you're a college president. She has an incredible work ethic. To use an old phrase, President Frombgen is like air. She's everywhere. You can hear it. You saw the students talking about. She's at all these events. I remember seeing her in a photo with the men's basketball team because they got into the national tournament. She texted me. She goes, "Phil, Doug and I are in Winfield. We're attending the Southwestern College baseball game. Guess who they were playing? Hastings College."
Guess who they beat?
Well, yeah, and that's who they beat. That's right. Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but all right, thank you. But and she attends all kinds of events, student events, faculty events. She just participates in these things. I'm confident in a few years she'll be known as the students' president. And beyond that, she is a change agent. She is a visionary thinker. In their first year, working with the Southwestern College community, she has created a very aggressive strategic plan, 5-year strategic plan, which the board approved yesterday. It's going to be on our website. But I'll tell you, I believe this. Organizations never stay the same over time. They get better or they get worse. If we can accomplish, all of us together here, if we can accomplish that strategic plan, Southwestern College will be in a better place than it is now. Now, I would like to, I can't resist, I promise I'll close with this, to make a few comments to students. Southwestern College students, are you here? I know we have one back there. You have any others up there? I can't see, the lights are too bright. Anyway, and I guess the comment I want to make to you, and because of my fading memory banks, I'm going to actually look at my notes because I don't want to foul this up. Students, be very careful about the words you use. You see, words are the raw material of knowledge and, in fact, much of life. And they deserve to be treated with respect. As educated people, we should use them carefully and precisely. And we should demand that those who communicate with us do the same. Words can be used to inform, deceive, inspire, confuse, or manipulate. So you must examine each important word used by another, carefully rejecting the false ones. Just like this young heroine in a cartoon character that appeared several years ago in a New Yorker magazine. The cartoon is of a little girl who's being force-fed by her mother, and she's obviously rejecting what's being offered her. In desperation, the mother says, "But dear, it's broccoli and it's so good for you." To which that little 3-year-old girl in her high chair looks her mother in the eye and says, "I say it's spinach, I say to hell with it." Students, through the good work of this faculty, hopefully you have gradually come to know the difference between broccoli and spinach. But more important than that, I hope you've acquired the courage to challenge those who confuse the two. Southwestern College is very fortunate to have Dr. Elizabeth Frombgen as its 20th president. She knows the difference between broccoli and spinach, and I assure you, she has the courage to challenge those who confuse the two. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's such a pleasure to be with you today at Southwestern College. This celebration inaugurating your 20th president and my dear colleague and friend, Dr. Liz Frombgen. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting my spouse, Kent, to be part of this wonderful celebration. I loved your reflections of Liz at Hastings. I've heard those stories over the years. Just terrific. I had the great fortune to work with Dr. Frombgen when she served as Vice President for Academic Affairs at Thiel College. Liz joined the Thiel community in 2017, just as I was beginning my second year as president at Thiel. And she hit the ground running, as she always does, and we worked closely together to move the college in new and stronger directions. Liz brought to Thiel an impressive amount of academic leadership experience, but more important than that, Liz displayed from day one a deep understanding and appreciation of Thiel's historic roots as a Lutheran institution founded just after the Civil War. As Liz knows, people who understand history always get high marks with me. After all, I'm an American historian. But seriously, Liz's earlier tenure, I believe, at Hastings College, another institution founded by a religious denomination, Presbyterianism, after the Civil War, nurtured in her, I believe, a vision for higher education centered on the holistic development and success of students. And so when she came to Thiel, she brought not just these high professional qualifications, but she understood the DNA, as it were, of Thiel, founded in 1866 to open opportunities for new students in new paths, new careers. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to reflect just a little bit on Southwestern's history. After all, I'm a historian, and I believe that thinking about this history, you'll find that Southwestern's history resonates very well with your new president. Taking a moment or two to consider the college's history, I believe will also illuminate on this day of celebration the college's, your college's, rich history of change and growth. As you know, Southwestern was founded in 1885. It was part of an explosion, a virtual explosion in the number of new small private colleges opening in the decades following the Civil War. These new institutions, many with ties to Christian denominations, were a response to a rapidly expanding and modernizing America. These new schools looked like, but were in fact different from the Eastern liberal arts colleges, in that they were keenly focused on the upward mobility of their students and offered professional degrees in business, education, communication, sometimes engineering, along with liberal arts. Likewise, they adopted the academic standards of the then emerging American research universities, but they also, at the same time, embraced a humanistic paradigm that appreciated concepts of belief and faith. Historians of higher ed typically overlook the importance of these smaller colleges and their contributions to making the American higher education system really the envy of the world, a system that is both public and private, that is small and large, that is rural and urban, that serves a wide range of students, the envy of the world, and Southwestern College is part of that. Certainly, these colleges don't fit into simple categories, and at times, they seem a bundle of contradictions, advancing their religious affiliations while also embracing free and open inquiry, providing the privilege of a campus that's retreat-like while emphasizing the importance of engaging with the larger world, and as I've said, identifying themselves as liberal arts institutions and yet graduating a large number of students in professional fields from their very founding. While some might be stymied by these contradictions or put them in tension with each other, the hybrid nature of these new American colleges, Southwestern among them, gives them vigor, Adaptable and pragmatic, they are able to evolve and bring a dynamic quality to their educational missions. Moreover, looking back at their history, many of these colleges, not all, but many, including Southwestern, opened their doors to women, as we've heard, and racial minorities in a period rife with conflict over race and gender. There's much to celebrate in the history of Southwestern College, a dynamic institution founded in response to a changing world and continuing to evolve to meet the educational needs of students. Your undergraduate and graduate programs have opened new opportunities for students, and as these opportunities have changed, Southwestern has changed. Southwestern's impressive history as a comprehensive college, comprehensive liberal arts college, reassures me, and I hope it reassures all of you, trustees as well, that the college will continue to meet the challenge of change, as it always has, with vigor, creativity, and grace. And so now, what of this new president of yours? How will she build on Southwestern's rich history to further the college's commitment to student success? How will she bring the Southwestern community together to advance a shared vision in the years ahead? Well, first and foremost, Dr. Liz Frombgen brings to her presidency a deep commitment to higher education. Moreover, she has a keen understanding of the hybrid mission of the comprehensive college. She appreciates the broad curricular offerings, loving the inspiration of the traditional liberal arts, but also highly aligned with those curricular that open up career opportunities. She will advocate for rigorous research standards coupled with a humanistic paradigm that provides space for the exploration of belief and values. She will support a campus retreat-like setting, but push for students to explore other venues to engage in the larger world. And finally, like Southwestern, she recognizes the importance of diversity inclusion, both in terms of access to quality education, but also because she understands that quality education must engage diverse perspectives and lived experiences. Now, a little story. At Teal, when we would host open houses with prospective students and parents, I would often be there. Liz was there to talk about the academic program. She would bounce to the front of the room and she'd say to them, "I went to college, I loved it, and I never left." And her more traditional president would say, "A little bit more about qualifications maybe," but that's not Liz, as I think you now know. In typical fashion, Liz told her story in a lighthearted way, never one to brag about her accomplishments. In fact, it's not that she never left college, but that from college onward, Liz Frombgen distinguished herself for excellence at each stage of her academic career. She finished college in 3 years, graduate school in record-breaking time. With her newly minted PhD in political science, she went off to Hastings College, where we've heard she rose quickly through the ranks, assistant, associate, full professor at a pace few faculty can match. After that, she moved seamlessly into academic administration. If you haven't noticed it yet, Liz does everything well and everything quickly. When Dr. Frombgen joined us at Teal, she brought energy and expertise, transforming the college through the introduction of graduate programs. Few at Teal believed that a small college in a rural town could establish quality graduate programs, but Liz did, and she went to work. While doing that, she also launched 6 new undergraduate programs. But educational leadership is about more than the number of programs one builds. It's about the capacity to bring people together around a shared vision and then to work deliberately to realize that vision. Liz is a master of just that. She brings people together, inspiring them to work with a purpose and celebrating what they accomplish. Whatever initiative she takes on, she brings joy to the work. Let me conclude by drawing on a wonderful poem by Margaret Piercy, titled "To Be of Use." This poem captures what I so admire in Liz, her energy and the purpose she gains from doing what the poet calls Work That Is Real. The poem reads, "The people I love best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shallows, and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, slick heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the muck and the mud to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the field to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals or field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out." Liz, I wish you the very best as you take on the leadership of Southwestern College. Ensuring the vitality of this fine institution and the success of its students is the type of real work I know you thrive to do. You are not afraid of the mud or the muck that is part of hard work. You have the patience needed for leadership. Most importantly, I know that you love the work, the mission of the small college, the experience of students, and the joy of collaboration. And when I miss you and our collaboration at Teal, I close my eyes and I think of you swimming off, bouncing along the top of the water, taking shore strokes. And I smile, knowing the joy you feel can inspire others as you lead Southwestern College ahead. All best wishes.
A world that holds all things broken and beautiful. Its sweetness can't be known without the pain. We walk these hills attuned to His grace, a gift of time that time cannot erase. On rocks and stone, our lives, they tell a story. The tower testifies to life we've shared. We walk along the steps of those before us, where one ends, the next begins and lights the way. And together Lux Esto be light, and together Lux Esto be light. Standing firm on who we are, building space for hope within the dark. We are light. It's no small thing to meet our fear with courage, to take doubt and trembling feet and step in faith, knowing that the future is uncertain. No guarantees, no map to lead the way. So together, Lux Esto be light. So together, Lux Esto be light. Standing firm on who we are, building space for hope within the dark. light. And so we take the road that is before us, building space for hope each step along the way. We hold tight to the ones who walk beside us, a witness to the strength of this new day. And together, Luxesto be light. And together, Luxesto be light. Standing firm on who we are, building space for hope within the dark. And together, Luxesto be light. And together, Luxesto be light. We are light. We are light. We are light. We are light.
Wow, Sarah, thank you for that original composition and your considerable talents. Thank you for sharing that with us. Luxesto, our college's motto, be the light, a reminder and a call to action. The president must be the light, bearing a weight of responsibility for the institution and for the students whose lives the college shapes. The president's vision advances the work of the college. Liz has been here since last June, and as we have gotten to know her, we have found a resolve that is unmatched. I have spent a lot of time with Liz. On Zoom and in person, there's always one more thing. And she's like, I got to get out of here, Scott. I'm like, one more. Okay, Liz. She has an inspired commitment to scholarship and academic curiosity, a dedication to students and to the betterment of their experience here on campus, an impressive fiscal discipline, business acumen, and frankly, a boundless zeal to strengthen our college from every angle. Even when presented with a challenge, and she's been presented with considerable challenges, Liz has been open, transparent, collaborative. The energy that she brings to the office of the president inspires us to set aspirational goals for our college and ourselves. Goals that then she quickly supports with detailed plans, proven leadership, and experience. Dr. Liz has a passion for the community. She has jumped in to the Winfield community with both feet. She strives to work with and to serve this community. She's an incredible worker. She has a bias for action that can hardly be restrained, but also attracts opportunity. She has sound vision, clear passion, and a very real love for Southwestern College. It's with great pride and confidence that I invite Dr. Frombgen to the lectern for installation and investiture. Dr. Frombgen, the Board of Trustees has chosen you as the 20th President of Southwestern College. In the years to come, yours will be the great privilege and responsibility to lead Southwestern to the fulfillment of its mission and promise as an institution of higher learning, and ours will be the privilege and responsibility of supporting you in that grand endeavor. At this time, I would invite you in the audience to join me in the formal investiture. The response is found in the program booklet and the ceremony agenda on page 1. Students, faculty, staff, alumni, distinguished guests, friends of the college, it's my great pleasure to present to you Dr. Elizabeth Frombgen. Will you support Dr. Frombgen's presidency with your kind support, wise counsel, and benevolent concern for her and her family, seeking always what is best for Southwestern College? We will. Will you, Dr. Frombgen, discharge with zeal and integrity the duties and responsibilities of President of Southwestern College, remembering always the vision entrusted to you and the people you serve?
I will.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I deliver to your hands, and actually over your head,
We'll try this.
this medallion as a sign of your office. Educate with wisdom, lead with courage, serve with gladness, inspire by word and deed. The support and care of the first family for the president plays an important role to her success. The first gentleman of Southwestern College, Dr. Doug Kinnear, shares a similar boundless energy to his partner, Dr. Frombgen. Doug is as committed to the Builder family as Liz, if that's possible. That's a high bar. He brings a welcoming and helpful spirit to every interaction. He is genuine and kind. He's a fervent supporter of our builders and is service-minded, offering to help on campus and in the community at every turn. He's a value add that Liz brings to us. We are grateful for his presence and work to support Southwestern. At this time, I welcome Dr. Doug Kinnear, First Gentleman of Southwestern College.
Good afternoon. I've heard that there's a pool in Christie Hall about who's going to cry first on this stage. I think Scott was getting close, but I'm not sure that was definitive. I'm going to try to not win this contest, but it's going to be hard. Oh, Jesus. Is there a cash award? I'm just so proud of Liz. But speaking later in the program, I have an advantage. I get to hear everyone else, and then I can respond. And I've got a few things to comment on Phil's speech. Phil was my president for many years, and Liz and I were both very active in faculty government. And Phil used to say to us, I like people to speak truth to power, just not right now, not to me. But I have to comment on this notion of Liz being president until 2041. I've always told Liz, my goal is for her to be able to retire, so that she'll still have a couple years for us to enjoy it together before her life consists of pushing me around in a wheelchair and wiping drool off my chin. And I was doing the math, Phil. I don't think 2041 works. Also, your comment about how cute it was that the economist and the political scientist got together. I heard this story from Rob Babcock. Many of you here know him, that shortly after I got to Hastings College, after Liz, Phil was driving down Elm Street and saw Liz and I walking down the sidewalk hand in hand. So he saw Rob Babcock later and said, "What's going on there?" And Rob explained, that there just aren't very many single men in Hastings. And so, yeah, that's a thing. And Phil's response was, "Well, I guess we'll be able to retain the new economist." Thus was born Liz's passion for retention. Was that a true story, or did Babcock just make that whole thing up? Okay. Well, anyway, I've been to a couple of these inaugurations over the years. And if I'd known that I'd ever be in this position, I certainly would have paid a lot of attention. I've been told to make some comments and then introduce our daughter, Lana. I'm pretty sure I can handle the second part because we've known each other for a while, right? Okay. But I'm not sure what sort of comments I'm supposed to make. I started by writing down everything nice that I wanted to say about my wife and about Southwestern College and about Winfield, and this is what it came to. And I thought it would be bad form to speak longer than, the president. So I edited it down to this, which seemed reasonable. And then I asked Liz and Lana to review my comments and make some suggestions, and they suggested that I edit out some allegedly inappropriate humor. So I did that, and here's my speech. So thank you. Have a nice day. So here are my rather brief comments. I do have some comments for you. I'd like to tell you a little bit about how we got here, because I think it bears on where we're all going together. At Hastings, early in her career, as Phil said, she was a terrific professor. I think probably the youngest department chair in Hastings College history, and a terrific one. But Liz also began to display very strong leadership abilities, the sorts of things that are essential to a small college's vitality. And at a certain point, when everything fell into place, Lana graduated from high school and was moving to California, one of them, we decided to prioritize her career. It was an easy decision, and not just because it allowed me more time to drink beer and ride bicycles, although those are worthy goals. It was easy because we care deeply about higher ed, and I could recognize that together we could have, here's where I'm going to lose it, the largest impact by letting Liz do this. That was my level of confidence in her abilities. Before we ever dreamed of a presidency, we were learning how to do it from Phil and Donna Dudley, Susan Traverso and her husband Kent Taylor at Hastings and Thiel colleges. They all gave us an accurate picture of the magnitude of this commitment, and it's one that we embrace. I'm often asked how Liz gets the energy for all of this. That's been commented on. Well, if you truly know Liz, you know that her spirit animal, the animal with which she most identifies, is the mighty Jack Russell Terrier. Now, I'm going to just caution you, a lot of wives don't want to be compared to dogs, so just be careful with this. Liz doesn't mind as long as the dog is a Jack Russell Terrier. If you're not familiar with the breed, come by my house sometime. You'll learn that a Jack Russell is smart, tireless, and tenacious, just like Liz. Now, the comparison does break down at some point. Liz doesn't bark at squirrels and root through trash. But the point is that she will do almost anything to advance Southwestern College. She is a fierce advocate for this school. Even under great stress, and there has been some, as Susan noted, Liz always remains calm, optimistic, and forward-thinking. She treats each person she deals with each day with care and compassion. Each day, she proves that we made the right decision. She's crying too, okay? We knew that to take on this commitment, we needed to fall in love with the college. It's the only way to shoulder this load. And we love Southwestern. We love Winfield. And to all of you here who have so graciously welcomed us, thank you. We are happy every day to be here. I'm sometimes asked if Liz feels overwhelmed by the challenges. Boy, and there have been some. I will answer that by telling you that a Jack Russell Terrier is undaunted by challenge. They don't give up. If you'll have us, we're here for the long haul. Maybe not 2041, but a long time. And also, I'm not sure that Lady Bird Brewing could survive the financial hit if I were to leave town. I am having my mail delivered there now. It was suggested to me that that would be a more direct way for people to reach me, so there'd be a lot of paperwork involved in leaving, change of address forms would be complicated, yeah. So again, thank you for the welcome that you have given us and the support. And now I will introduce the penultimate speaker, Lana Bernasek-Kinnear. Allow me to brag for a moment. This is my prerogative. Alana graduated from the University of San Francisco in only 3 years. And I've never mentioned it, but thanks for saving us all that money. Really appreciate that, still. She graduated right into the middle of the pandemic in the worst labor market since the Great Depression and landed a professional job in her field. And now, just a few years later, she is finishing up her first year in a PhD program at Colorado State University, which is one of my alma maters. So obviously, she's smart and hardworking. But a CV doesn't tell the whole picture of a person. Lana is just also a genuinely nice and good person. We lucked out. And as a liberal arts success story, she is probably the perfect person to introduce Liz. So Lana, welcome to the podium.
Hello, and good afternoon. Now, when I think of Liz, I think of three things. I'm sure one you can already guess: Jack Russell Terriers, her love for making homemade cheeses, but also her love for higher education. For as long as I've known Liz, which is since I was about 5 years old, she has always been in pursuit of bettering herself and others through academia and promoting access to higher education for all. Having a parent who understood the value of education was something that I often took for granted. And I've got more than one parent, so I had a lot of it. But as I've grown, I've realized how and why my experience made me so privileged. As I navigated the challenges of undergrad, finding my first adult job, and graduate school, Liz was always one of the first people to offer support. Each job application, each interview. Do you want to have a practice interview? Do you have a suit, the right clothes to wear? No matter how busy Liz was, she always had time to offer a helping hand. And I have seen Liz extend the same offer to countless students, always willing to support people from all walks of life
to see them grow and succeed. I have seen how hard Liz has worked over the years and the incredible amount of dedication she has displayed to get to this point. Liz has been a student. She knows what it's like to be a student, to be a professor, to be in administration, to be a president and a leader. She has done it all. This is proof of her commitment to Southwestern College, and I know she will serve this school well. Liz is, without a doubt, the right person for the job. Liz wears a lot of hats, and she wears them all equally well. She is a prime example of someone who truly does love their job, and she's in it for the long run. Now, please join me to introduce the 20th president of Southwestern College, Dr. Liz Frombgen.
Okay, you can sit now. Thank you all. My heart is so full right now, you have no idea. And I am going to cry. At least I'm not the first one to cry. I'm with Doug. I think it was Scott, actually, was the first one to cry. Thank you, Lana and Doug, for such loving introductions. I'm so grateful to have both of you in my life. Dear students, faculty and staff, delegates from other institutions, alumni, friends and family, and members of the Winfield community. I am so honored and blessed to be the 20th president of Southwestern College. And before I forget, I want to make a couple thank yous. Sarah, you have the voice of an angel. Thank you. Can we just thank her one more time? And friends, we are going to get to hear that composition, I believe, going forward in other ways. This was an original composition, so I look forward to that. I look forward to our choir doing it with you in the choir, I might add. I also want to take a moment to thank the ladies. You know who you are, but I'm going to say some of the names. Doreen Fast, who is my person. Kaydee Riggs-Johnson. Ashley Mayo, Brittany Donalds, Dr. Don Plez, Adrian Wyatt, and the Pearl ladies. They helped make today go organizationally. I really had, honestly, we would be in these inauguration meetings, and they went on for a while sometimes. I don't really have attention to detail anymore, so I would just be like, okay, that's fine, let's keep going. But they made decisions about the operations that made today work incredibly smoothly. So thank you. Thank you. I am so grateful to have Presidents Blake and Martin here today. As Scott said, number 16 and 17. I am so happy that they live in town. I see them both at actually different events from each other, but on campus weekly, and it is with such joy. Thank you both. You have been a great support to me in the last 10 months. I'm also so grateful to work with the best trustees I could ever ask for. You know I love you. So I want to make sure I mention this little cutie in front over here. I am very, very happy and blessed to have almost my entire family here. I have, obviously, Doug and Lana, we know that. We have my sister Vicki and her husband Ken, Kathy and her husband Ryan, my brother Paul and his wife Dory, and this little cutie in the front, baby Izzy, who many people have heard about. She's here finally. Baby Izzy is one of the main reasons we knew we wanted to be generally back in the Midwest. She is 5 hours from us, as opposed to 20 hours from us. We have Doug's sister, Diane, and her husband Kevin, and a special thank you to all of our out-of-town friends, the Hastings College contingency right in the middle there. We were all professors together, some of us baby professors together. I'm looking mostly at you, Amy. We got to Hastings College when we were, in our mid-20s, and yet somehow we still figured out how to do our jobs together. We have our dear friends from Fort Collins, Colorado, and our dear friends from Greenville, Pennsylvania. And as you can tell, the first dude is my biggest fan. He told you about, our decision making as a family and why we chose what we chose, which works for us. But what he didn't tell you fully in that story, he simply decided that he would give up his job. That's your niece. He gave up a tenured full professorship and a department chairship to come with me. And when we were talking about moving to Greenville, Pennsylvania from Hastings, just quite a ways, I said, if you feel like you need to, Amy, I'm shouting out to you, that you might need to stay in Hastings for a year and help the department. He said, no, I go with you. So he goes with me. Simply, I can do what I do because he does what he does, which is, of course, including biking and Jack Russell Terrier and beer drinking, but nonetheless, he takes care of our lives, and I am so deeply grateful to that. To Lana. She's my Lana. I met her when she was 5, and this is the kid that I chose in my life. And we are so proud of you. And not even just because you graduated early and cost us less tuition money. That's great, by the way. And we learned that actually on Christmas Day. It was like, cha-ching. Okay, thank you, Phil and Susan. In my time, I have worked with 2 exceptional presidents, and they're both here. The first one and the last one. Phil and Donna, welcome home. I look forward to seeing you much more often. And Susan and Kent, welcome to Kansas. I hope you see why we love it so much. So I've thought a lot about what I wanted to say in this moment, in this place with all of you, in celebration of our college. And Doug told you that we were given the advice, and I think that it's the right advice, to find a college. If you want to be a president, find a college and fall in love with it. And I think that's really true. I believe presidents must first and foremost love their colleges, love their students, love their faculty and staff, their alumni, their community, and love it all, every piece of it. Because love allows us to move through the really hard and difficult work that it will take to advance our college with grace and with care. To build builders. A president must be able to see the potential of a college and how we can get there, together, always together. Students, you know you have my heart. I love, love, love going to really any student event. I love it all. I love it especially, by the way, when we're playing Hastings College and we're winning, by the way, Phil. I really do. I love you all in the middle there, but I really like beating you too. You know that. But students, you are the reason this little college on the hill is here. You are the reason we are here. You are the reason I am here. You belong here, and you are builders. Our faculty and staff, you too know you have my heart. I am so grateful to you every day. There'll be more about you in a few minutes. So I've been asked several times since moving here in June what I believe a builder is and what it means for creating a common and shared identity, a shared vision of who we are and where we're going. One of the first things I learned about Southwestern College while I was in my semi-finalist interview in Wichita in a sort of airport hotel type situation. I asked people to tell me about the college. Just talk to me about what you love about the college. What is it that is special for you? Whatever. And here's what they said. It's a place where people can be weirdos together with love and respect for one another. And I think that that's really true. And I'm so very happy to have found a college where I get to be my own special kind of weirdo, and people simply love me for it. I get to be the first president that people are very interested in when I get my hair cut, and by whom, which is great. I actually think it's fantastic. And my hair looks good because of Chris, if you all know Chris. Okay. Right? What's the... People who comment on my clothes and my fashion and help me make me look the best I can. I love that. I need that help sometimes. Okay? But I love the fact that I can be a purple purse wearing, thank you, Susan, pink bag carrying, pastel wearing president with hair that moves everywhere, and people simply love me for it. That I can be a Jack Russell Terrier, and people simply love me for it. That's my version of weirdo. And we do, as Phil pointed out, have some very interesting traditions and symbols. We, of course, have mound building and the jinx among them. And by the way, Rich, that's for you. We know we love the jinx. If I could have figured out a way to put a jinx pin right here and not look a little inappropriate, I would have. But you'll see me mostly with the jinx pin. And I'm exceedingly happy to be able to be my own special weirdo along with the rest of you. It takes a very special kind of person to be a builder, and I cannot imagine being president of any other college. So builders build. We make things to last, and we've been doing that for 138 years. We are in the business of building builders. We've been known as builders for about 100 years. And Newsweek has called our moniker bizarre. Again, we kind of like it. Our annual mound building ceremony in August is an opportunity for our students to commit to their college and to their highest aspirations for lives of learning, meaning, and service. And our goal is to help them achieve and exceed those dreams, their wildest dreams, things that they can't even imagine for themselves. And I had been told by Scott, actually, that the mound building ceremony was kind of spiritual. And honestly, at the time, I wasn't really sure that I actually believed him. But you know, you sort of go, okay. But then I experienced it. And if you have, who has? Raise your hands. Okay. You have. You know what I'm talking about. Right? We are the lucky ones. We are the lucky ones. And it's our secret unless you experience it. I've been reflecting a lot lately on my own career and my own vocational discernment, to use a fancy word, over the past 25 years. And I think I've always been a builder. College was deeply transformational for me and is what allowed me to think about the world in bigger and more complex ways. I've always been interested in putting things together to build new things with others. As a graduate student and young professor of political science, I was particularly interested in understanding how communities and societies govern themselves, and specifically why some fail and why some succeed. Like, why does that happen? What are the essential characteristics that allow for success? That was what I was interested in. As my career evolved, I became more interested in how to make societies, communities, now colleges, work better, make better decisions, make fairer and more equitable ones, and fulfill their missions, goals, and potentials. As I moved into leadership roles, first among the Hastings College faculty, I'm going to shout out again to y'all in the middle, and then in academic affairs at both Hastings College and T.O. College, I was really able to see how all the pieces of a college can and should fit together to be successful. Aligning the work that we do at a college, across divisions, across departments, across parts of campus, is essential to the work that we do, essential to us building builders. And let me be clear, the world needs more builders. Builders are forward-thinking and moving, sometimes fast, and unabashedly confident, but adaptable too. Willing to do the hard work, and actually are excited by challenges because we meet the challenges head on and accomplish our goals always together. The college, students, faculty, staff, Winfield leaders all pulled together in 1950 when this building burned. The only thing left standing were the 4 pillars outside. They came together at a critical moment in the college's history, in a moment of incredible uncertainty, to rebuild the college. As Susan pointed out, classes were in dining rooms, churches, every single place you could possibly hold a class was held. Builders have always pulled together in times of adversity, and we continue this tradition today. Our work together over the next 5 years will be focused on achieving the goals of the Southwestern College 2028, building our future strategic plan. By being dynamic and bold, you've heard that term. We will lead industry by graduating students who are prepared to better their communities and the world through their work and service. By partnering with organizations and entities in our community and region, we will strengthen both the college and the community. And through careful stewardship and enhanced fundraising, we will strengthen our resources and make investments for the future. We must innovate and think and act creatively to move our beloved college forward. And we are on the move. We are builders after all. Already, in 10 months, we have advanced new academic programs in agribusiness and construction management, both with Cali College, a major in environmental health and safety management, criminal justice and legal studies, an honors program, and a pre-nursing program, all here on main campus. At Professional Studies, we've advanced 3 new programs, a Bachelor of Science in Data Science, a Master of Education in School Building Administration, and a Master of Arts in Sport Management. We are on the move. As we look forward, we affirm the college's commitment to Winfield, Cali County, South Central Kansas, and our connection to the Great Plains Conference of the United Methodist Church. Our college is deeply embedded in the community of Winfield. Susan also told you this little story, so I'll shorten it. The story of those savvy community leaders in Winfield who convinced the United Methodist Conference to locate Southwestern College here among strong competition is as inspiring as they were bold and dynamic. Clearly, they were builders. I've remarked several times, as did Doug, that this community has been incredibly welcoming to the both of us. In fact, sometimes a little overwhelmingly so. You know who you are. Susan, and you know which one, and I love you for it. We all know who I'm talking about, right? Okay, we all love her. We are and will continue to collaborate with community organizations of various kinds to support the needs of the community for educational programming, economic development, and interfaith dialogue. And as the cultural hub for Winfield, we'll become an even more dynamic venue for campus and community events, competitions, and the performing arts, hosting a rich array of programs to attract people to our lovely, beautiful campus on the hill. We are currently developing partnerships with the Winfield Arts and Humanities Council, William Newton Hospital, the South Central Kansas Regional Medical Center, the Community Health Clinic of Cali County, Cali College, Winfield Economic Development, among other community organizations. We fully and completely understand the college's role in Winfield. And I am deeply grateful for the support the community has shown to us. In our recent Step Up Day for SC on March 23rd, this community stepped up. And 392 unique donors contributed $263,252 to support the Builder Fund. I'm a deeply grateful president. I think Winfield is full of builders. Wouldn't you agree? As we advance goals 1 and 2 of the strategic plan, goal 3 is supported. We must strengthen our resources. A most important resource are here in the front rows. and that is our faculty and staff who do the amazing and hard work every single day to support our students to achieve their goals, to build builders. I am in awe every single day of the sacrifices our faculty and staff have made this year and continue to do so for our students. Again, I thank each of you. We really could not do this without you. We wouldn't want to, but we couldn't do it without you. We are builders, after all. And while there is still much work to be done, I am so very, very proud of the hard work we have done together and will continue to do together. So when I ask you if you're all in, you say yes. I am so very proud every single day to be a builder and to be the 20th president of Southwestern College. We know that the higher education landscape before us is challenging. And so we must be bold and dynamic. We are a college on the move. And we're builders, after all. We are in it together and leaning in to support one another. And all in for this little college on the hill. And so builders, let's build. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Liz. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Thanks for everyone else for being here to mark this historic occasion, a new chapter for Southwestern. With gratitude, confidence, we celebrate all that Dr. Frombgen brings with her to Southwestern College and to the broader community of Winfield. She will lead us from these heights of knowledge, hope, and courage, free from doubt or fear. With that, I invite Anja Clemens-Williams to lead us in the singing of our alma mater, and then Reverend Charles McKenzie of Grace United Methodist Church will offer a blessing and a benediction. After the recessional, we will gather at the Royal Smith Student Center for reception. Please join us as you are able. Thank you.
Please rise for the alma mater.
She calls us daily, alma
Hear these words now of blessing and benediction, and as you do, I would welcome you all, builders. Whether you knew you were becoming a builder today or not, you have become one. So builders, go. Go with love. Go with peace. Go with knowledge, hope, courage, and wisdom. Bless this administration. Bless the family that supports our new president, the 20th president of Southwestern College. Bless this campus. Let us be blessings to one another. Let us see in each other that which God has set in all of us, hope. Go forward, serving one another in love and beauty. Amen.